This section covers gut thinking. To start off this section, I would like to review the mind-body problem. The mind-body problem states that we do not watch events in real time. We are consistently one step behind events. For example, imagine you were in the stands at this basketball game watching the player shoot his free throw. You would not be watching this event in real time. There are two reasons for this. One, our visual system is surprisingly slow, and two, our eyes fix on small section of our visual field and take a snapshot and then quickly jump again. We can take up to 5 snapshots per second. So instead of watching the player shoot his free throw, you are really taking pictures of the whole process. As we take a snapshot of an image in our visual field, it takes 100 milliseconds, or a full 1/10 of a second, for the image to pass from our retina and register in our brain. In order for this process to happen, light photons has to be translated into a chemical signal, and then into an electrical signal that can be carried along nerve fibers. The electrical signal travels to the back of the brain to an area called the visual cortex. Then the image is moved along 2 separate pathways. The first pathway is processing the identity of the object we see, known as the what stream. And the second pathway is processing the location and the motion of the object, known as the where stream. These streams combine to form a unified image, and only then does the image emerge into our conscious awareness. So if we go back to the stands of the basketball game and watch the player shooting the free throw, the whole process is taking place, which causes us not to see the events in real time. Knowing this information, a few questions come up. 1. How can we survive in a fast-moving world if we process events after the events have taken place? 2. How do we make real-time decisions when we are behind the event taking place that we're making a decision on? Some good examples of these questions would be a bettor hitting a baseball, coming at him at 95 miles an hour. A boxer trying to dodge a punch in the heat of the moment while also trying to land a punch. The answer to this question would be gut feeling. Gut feeling is defined as a massive information gathering exercise conducted by the body. Our brain receives valuable information from our body daily. Some examples would be a quirky feeling a broker would receive about the stock market. He or she might cough when the market's about to go up, or get an itchy eyebrow before the market's about to go down, and then they would make decisions based on that. Next, let's watch a short video about gut feeling.
Scientists recently discovered that our unique communities of microorganisms also influence the brain. To study the effects of gut bacteria on mammals' brains, researchers bred 2 different groups of mice, one with bacteria in their guts and one without. They found that the group of germ-free mice were more active and took more risks. The group with normal levels of gut bacteria showed more anxiety and were more cautious about exploring their environment.
There is, in fact, a connection between preconscious decisions and the body, because gut feelings that allow us to rapidly assess whether a pattern and a considered choice will most likely lead to a pleasant or nasty outcome, whether we like or dislike, welcome or feared. One of the keys to gut feelings is somatic markers. Somatic markers happens when each event we store in memory comes bookmarked with a bodily sensation. They are very helpful in making future decisions. This picture represents the location of somatic markers in our brain. Other facts about the brain and gut feelings are: 1. Selective attention during our visual field. We reviewed this earlier in the presentation. 2. The brain is 2% of the body mass, but consumes 20% of our daily energy. And 3. The pulse in your body will speed up as you engage in heavy mental tasks, such as taking tests. We cannot talk about gut feelings without mentioning the 2 main doctors with theories about gut feelings. They were Henry James and Walter Cannon. James believed that physical reaction comes first, and then the conscious feelings comes second. Examples would be that we are sad because we are crying, and we are scared because we are running away. On the other hand, Walter Cannon believed that the body feedback travels too slow, and physical reaction can be the same in different emotional feelings. Some examples of that would be that your heart would beat fast, whether you are scared or angry or joyous. At the time, Cannon's theory had a greater voice in the 1920s, and he criticized James for his theory. It took many years for research was available to support James's theory about gut feelings. It was not until the 70s and 80s that scientists took a renewed interest in the feedback between the body and the brain, which led them to take another look at James's theory. Gut thinking communication happens through the visceral nervous system. This system passes information throughout the body to the brain. There are two branches of the visceral nervous system. The first is rest and digest, and the other is fight or flight. At this point, Richard will give more information about the two branches and also expand on how stress affects gut feeling.
When individuals are faced with stressful situations, the body undergoes transformations that ultimately influence future decision-making processes. The body releases chemicals like adrenaline, cortisol, and noradrenaline, which trigger the nervous system and affect system behavior like heart rate, breathing, and can even make goosebumps appear. Interesting research has been conducted where computerized tests were given to individual participants without a time constraint, and those who answered specific questions incorrectly received an electronic shock. The electronic shock, or stressor in this case, heightened the participants' awareness to seeking alternatives and increased the amount of thought put into each successive response. The nervous system can be broken down into two separate sections. Each portion can be activated due to different surrounding environments or bodily states. The rest and digest portion of the nervous system dominates whenever threat is not imminent or the body is essentially in a relaxed state. Steady heart rate and breathing and slower moving bodily processes like digestion are regulated by this nervous system response. A body that exhibits steady state behavior will tend to shift thinking processes to guide decisions through deeper thought and grasping for more information. From a gut thinking perspective, individuals in a restful state would be more likely to participate in thought exercises rather than taking extreme amounts of risks with quick decisions. Another portion of the nervous system takes over when the body is undergoing periods of stress or danger. This is referred to as the fight or flight response. The fight or flight response reacts to dynamic situations by accelerating bodily heart rate, breathing, and blood pressure as a defense mechanism or to guide an individual to react to harm accordingly. A typical fight or flight response is something as simple as an adrenaline rush through competition, recreation, or fear. These situations of stress where the fight or flight reaction dominates helps to promote making quick decisions, some without even conscious thought. Whenever humans experience a stressful or traumatic event, the emotional center of the brain, the amygdala, sends distress signals to the command center portion of the brain, the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus then communicates with the rest of the body through a complex series of nerves to provide individuals the required energy to fight or flee dependent upon the situation at hand. These surges of energy can be felt through the emission of adrenaline coursing through blood vessels and arteries. This type of response can also create bodily harm whenever chronic stress behavior is exhibited. These periods of increased heart rate and blood pressure can increase the likelihood for a heart attack or stroke. Additionally, high levels of stress over time can also lead to weight gain and increased appetite. This emphasizes the importance of physical activity, social support, and relaxation to mitigate stress and promote a healthy lifestyle.
Let's review some key points of the presentation. We do not watch information in real time. For example, the boxers are taking snapshots of information in their visual field. Because of that, they have to rely on gut feelings to make decisions on what to do next. Based on their previous experiences, known as somatic markers, they are able to react to punches from their opponent. Outside factors like stress is having an impact on their performance. However, the boxer who reacts faster by using their gut feeling will win the match.